Hello YouTube, Mac the Duel is coming at you from the TCG Enterprise where we talk about all your favorite card games. You guys, I just now finished up my Monarch deck. So now we're going to go ahead and go on with it and we'll see how well this playstyle goes, you guys. So starting off, we are going to be going with 3 Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. Aether will allow you to go out for your tribute summons. And you can send 2 Monarch spell or trap with different names from the hand or the deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon 1 monster with a 2400 more attack and 1000 defense from the deck, and return it to the hand during the end phase. Now, during your opponent's main phase, if this card is in your hand, you could banish a Monarch spell or trap from your graveyard immediately after this resolves and tribute summon this card. It's a quick effect. Not too bad, not too bad. Then we are going to be going with 3 Erebus, the Underworld Monarch. And this one primarily does the same effect. This one is your main go-to to go in and get it into the graveyard. You can go ahead and send out for the 2, send the 2 into the graveyard for your spells and your traps. Primarily want to go out for your Panthasium, so then that way you can get your draw power effect. And pretty much when you discard one Monarch spell or trap, you can target 1 monster into the graveyard with 2400 or more attack, 1000 defense, and add it to the hand. Next, we're going to be going with 2 Idea, the Heavenly Square. When this card is normal summon or special summon, to special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from the deck into defense position, except for Squire. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. Luckily enough for us, we do not have an extra deck. In any case, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Monarch spells or traps and add it to your hand. And you only use the effects once per turn. So, with this being said, this is going to allow you to go ahead and bring out your Idios. And your Idios, you can go ahead and banish that and special summon 1 monster with the 800 attack and 1000 defense from the graveyard. And you can go ahead and target it and special summon it into the defense position. And you can only use the once effect per turn, but you can get an additional normal summon in regards towards your regular normal summon. So this will allow you to go ahead and normal summon when you normal summons, and then you can get an additional normal summon, so then you can tribute it off and go ahead and bring out something else, which is really, really good. We run 1 Cuirass, the Light Monarch. When this card is normal summon or special summon, destroy up to 2 cards out of the field. For each card destroyed that was destroyed this way, the card's controller will draw 1 card. Draw 1 card. But basically you can draw up to 2 cards. And it cannot attack during the turn that it was normal summon or special. So, but either way, still pretty good, especially towards spot removal. Primarily you want to hand it out towards back row, but you guys could go ahead and be the judge towards that. Now, we are going to be going with 3 Vanity Ruler. This is better than Vanity's Fiend, and I will tell you the reason why. Mainly on towards the only effect that it knows. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters. Now, the other one, Vanity's Fiend, allows out for both to not be able to. So this one only does it towards the opponent, as opposed towards Vanity's Fiend, which allows for basically, it immobilizes both opponents, both players, from special summoning anything, yourself included. So that's the reason why this one is better. It's a one-sided effect, which is a lot better than what you would normally want to run. Now, we have 1 Majesty's Fiend. Now, I cannot recall if there is a Majesty's Ruler. There probably is one, or there probably hasn't been one made yet, but it should definitely be made. Now, this one nullifies any monster effects, makes them not being able to activate. Whether this ends up coming out or the moment that it's out onto the field, either way, monster effects will not be activated. Now, the problem with this is that it targets yourself. So that's why I hope there could be or may not be, but either way, I would like to see a Majesty's Ruler. Don't quote me on that if there is or isn't one, but I mean, we could only hope that it might be maybe one in existence so we could one-side our opponent. Anyways, then we're going to be going with 3 Enkama Frit, is how I pronounce it at least. And this one allows you to go ahead and get your draw power effect if you have no cards in the extra deck except for Encama Frit. And you can only special summon Encama Frit once per turn by having no monster or having no cards into the extra deck except for Encama Frit. Now, if this face-up card is in the monster zone, would leave the field, you would just banish it. So your primarily effect is to go ahead and just bring this thing out, so you could tribute summon it right away, or you could go ahead and just get your draw power off from it. Now, we are going to be going with one Proof of Prooflas, or Prooflas. If you control no special summon monsters, you can special summon the card from the hand, and if you do not special summon other monsters for the rest of the turn. You can only use the effect of Prooflas once per turn. If this card is normal summon or special summon, immediately at this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster. This is perfect for Monarchs because Monarchs, what do? Tribute summon. Now, we are also going to be going with one Mithra, the Thundered Vassal. This has a very long effect, but pretty much if this card is into the hand and activate the effect, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. But you can special summon this card, and if you do, is get out a Vassal token. It's a light type with a Thunder type. Level 1, 800 by 1000 to your opponent's side of the field, defense position. Then you could tribute summon one monster during the main phase this turn. And in addition towards your normal summon or your set, you can only use it out for once per turn, and only once during that turn. Then we are going to be going with one Celiglare, the Luminous Lunar Dragon. This is new. I actually like the artwork on this, and it's super shiny. Look at that. Woo! You can almost summon and intercept this card without tributing, but its original attack becomes 1500. And then during the main phase, you can quick effect. You can target one monster your opponent controls with attack less or equal to this card, return it to the hand. And if you do, take control of that opponent's monster until the end phase, which allows you to go ahead and target one of your opponent's monsters. And then that way, you can go ahead and tribute their monster. That's how you do that. Aside from the monster side, we're on our spells. So with the spells, we're going to be going with 3 domain. You need to be running 3 domain, no less than 3. You control no monsters in the extra deck, and all you have are tribute summon monsters. Your opponent cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Shuts down the opponent's extra deck, so then that way they don't have a response. A lot of times they'll go out for a lot of link summons. This stops link summons. This is an anti-meta deck. Now, if a tribute summon monster you control attacks and an opponent's monster, it'll gain 800 during the damage calculation only. And once per turn, you can reduce the level of one monster with 2800 and 1000 in your hand by 2 until the end of the turn, even after it resolves, until this leaves the field, which is perfect considering the fact that now Aether and Erebus will now become level 6, which is good. So then that way you only have to tribute one time. If you have out for the domain, you can go ahead and bring out for Idios, get an additional normal summon. You tribute off from Idios, and then you can go ahead and bring out Erebus, or you can bring out Aether. Either one of your choosing is that what you want to do, that you can actually do that. Now, 3 Panthasium. I am glad this card went back to 3 back in about 2016 when the deck came out. Around about 2017 or even a couple months after that, the deck came out, they banned this thing. Or I'm sorry, they limited it down to 1, I believe. And then it just straight up came back at 3. I am very fortunate enough to have that. So, sit 1 Monarch spell or trap from your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. You can banish this card and reveal 3, and then that way you can go ahead and have your opponent choose 1. 1 will get added to the hand, and the other ones get shuffled back into the deck. 3 Tenacity of the Monarchs. This will allow you to go ahead and reveal 1 monster with a 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 and 1000, and add a Monarch spell or trap from your deck to the hand, except for Tenacity. You can only use 1 Tenacity. Now, 3 Monarch Stormforth. This has to be one of my favorite, aside from Panthasium, one of my favorite Monarch spells. Why? It literally does one simple thing, and that's it. It allows you to go ahead and take your opponent's monster and use it as a tribute summon for your own. Not only that, but during the main phase, you activate this card, They're not special summon monsters from the extra deck, but you basically, you can use this and cycle it around with Panthasium. That way, if your opponent has some pretty big stuff on towards it, why not? Why not? Take all their stuff. Now, we're going to be going with 2 Return of the Monarchs. You could add to your deck to your hand, from your deck to your hand, 1 monster with a 2400 attack, 1000 defense with a different name than the tribute summon monster you currently have. Or you can add from your deck to your hand a 2800 by 1000, different name from the tributed monster there. This is different here. Yes, it is definitely different here. This is Fluanderies. There's Fluanderies. However you want to spell it. Anyways, and the Unexplored Winds. You can conduct tribute summons that require 2 tributes by sending 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard, except for tribute summoning. Or it is still treated as a tribute summon. During the main phase, you could reveal up to 2 Winged Beast monsters in your hand, which obviously we're not going to. And reveal up to 2 and put them onto the bottom of the deck in any order, then draw cards equal to the number placed. We're not worrying about that because we do not have any Winged Beasts in this deck. So, our primary effect is that basically you can go ahead and require out for 2 tributes. You just go ahead and take out for 1 you control and 1 your opponent controls, and there you go. Because it's a continuous effect, we could do it anytime we want, which is great. Now, we're going to be going with for one for one. Why? Because Idea is a level 1. And we might as well go ahead and utilize that effect. Plus, we can go ahead and we can send 1 monster card from the hand to the graveyard. So we can get rid of our Erebus to go ahead and get out for our Idea. And go ahead and summon out for our Idea. And go ahead and summon out for our Idios. That's how you do that. We have 1 Upstart Goblin. It's Upstart Goblin. It's always good to have a good draw power. 1 Foolish Burial, so we can get out for our Erebus and put that into the graveyard right away. 2 traps only, and we have the Prime Monarch. This one will allow you to go ahead and target 2 spells or traps into the graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck, then draw 1 card. Then you can go ahead and have this become out for a fairy, banish 1 other monster spell or trap from the deck, and special summon this card in defense position. This is not treated as a trap card, mind you. So it'll just automatically end up being a monster. That's something that you can go ahead and tribute summon right away, which is very, very nice. Now, as far as our side deck goes, and mind you, we're not running an extra deck. We are running a side deck because extra decks do not exist with this deck. It does not need it. We are going to be going with 3 Jinzo. Yes, I am running Jinzo. Why? Because I ran Jinzo in the last deck, and Jinzo is one of my favorite monsters, and that's why it's going to stay in there. This literally can stop Skill Drain. Assuming that Skill Drain is not already out onto the field. If Skill Drain is already out onto the field, it will not activate its effect to nullify Skill Drain's effect. The only way it can work is that if Skill Drain is face down. They cannot activate it. I will go more later on into a video about how certain cards activate and how other cards don't really activate in a later video to come, so just stay tuned in for that. Now, one interrupted Kaiju Slumber, and you'll know why, because we're going to be going with 2 Glamour Seadro Kaiju. Honestly, and arguably, this is actually the best Kaiju out there. Side out from probably Mothra, or quite possibly Ghidorah. But other than that, Glamour honestly has never let me down. And you could go ahead and use your opponent's stuff, bring out a Kaiju there, and then that way you can target out for your Kaiju that you currently just give to your opponent, and then you can go ahead and go off from that and use it towards your effect. 1 Dino Wrestler Pankratops, it's Pankratops, and honestly, this thing should definitely be coming back at 3. But unfortunately, it will not end up coming back to 3, because that could probably end up giving the potential towards Dinos to top again, even though Miscellaneous Source is at 1. I don't know. I don't know. But in any case, we're going to be going with 1 March of the Monarchs. Monarchs, basically tributed monsters that you control, cannot be targeted by spells, traps, monster effects, all that stuff there. 3 Twin Twisters. It is Twin Twister. Target spells that your controls, and you can destroy them. spells or traps just by discarding one card. We will have one escalation of the Monarchs. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase or during your opponent's battle phase, you can immediately summon, or you can immediately, after this effect resolves, tribute summon one monster. So you can definitely use that for your opponents, so then that way they don't have a response, unless they do. And then we're going to be going with 3-dimensional barrier. Now, this is a very controversial card. A lot of people don't run this card, but I primarily think that it's great. And this basically just does not target out for links, but it targets out for everything else, which is really, really good. And neither player can special summon monsters with a declared type. Also, negate the effects of all monsters of that type that are on the field. You only use it out for it once per turn. But it is still very, very good. Very, very good. So that's it for the deck, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you guys want to see more, just go ahead and comment down below. And don't forget to also like and subscribe, you guys, and hit that post notification bell so you don't miss a beat and when things happen and when they do happen. I'm going to eventually be having some more videos coming up, primarily out for Magic. I have some stuff that I have planned out for Magic right now. The spoilers for new Carpania, I guess they got it, or new Carpania. Just came out, so I'm hopefully trying to do out for a new video for that, as far as towards commander decks. So if you guys want to see some of that, just stay tuned out for that. If you guys have any feedback on towards this deck, feel free to go ahead and comment down below. Like I said, I'll see you guys on the next time. Happy gaming.